Hey everybody, how you doing? Dash and Dave here again. Alright, this comes to us from Reuters. Nandita Bose is the writer. Thank you very much. Rideshare retailers brace for tough U.S. independent contractor rule. And look over on the right-hand side there. It's a Doordash Dash Pass advertisement. Good job, Tony. Good job. Dateline, Washington, September 27. After weeks of lobbying the White House on how gig workers should be treated, the rideshare, delivery, and retail industries are bracing for a new rule that is likely to make it easier to classify them as employees, multiple sources say. A proposed rule from the Department of Labor aimed at defining whether gig workers for companies including Uber, Lyft, Doordash, and retailers such as Amazon.com Inc. are misidentified as independent contractors is under review at the White House's Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs, IORA, we're going to call them, and is expected to be released in the coming weeks. While the details of the new rule are not known, the department could model it on legal guidance that says people economically dependent on a company are employees, or even go further to expand the pool of workers who should receive benefits, legal experts said. Some of the groups have been trying and failing to convince the White House that any broad rule would hurt workers who want to remain independent and have flexibility. People familiar with the discussion said. More than 1/3 of U.S. workers, or nearly 60 million people, performed some sort of freelance work in the past 12 months, a December 2021 survey by freelancing marketplace Upwork showed. Broadly defining independent contractors as employees would also force companies to pay benefits, such as overtime pay and health benefits, that would hurt their bottom line. Employers can save about 30% by skipping payroll taxes and unemployment and benefit costs, workers' groups estimate. The meetings at the White House were one-sided, with officials at IORA letting groups speak and not participating or asking follow-up questions, several employer sources said. They are interpreting that as a sign that the Biden administration's mind is made up. It's all very political. The administration has been clear about the stakeholders they care about and how organized labor is something they care about, said a senior official at one of the employer groups who met with the White House to discuss the proposed rulemaking. We expect it to be more antagonistic toward independent work, the official who did not wish to be named said, and to hurt companies that rely on gig labor. A White House official said that listening without comment is part of the standard rulemaking process at IORA. Representatives and lobbyists for employers argued against administrator interpretation and the economic realities test issued in 2015 under the Obama administration, which said most workers should be considered employees under the Fair Labor Standards Act. They also presented their opposition to the ABC test, which determines employee status. I'm not optimistic that the concerns we raised are going to change the direction of the rulemaking, said another lobbyist for an employer group who spoke to the White House. The White House and the Department of Labor declined comment. Amazon did not respond to a request for comment. A spokeswoman for the Flex Association, which represents Uber, Lyft, and Doordash, said any drastic change that will limit workers' flexibility could have dire economic consequences as well as reduce income and limit options for workers. Gig workers rising, Rideshare Workers United, Mobile Workers Alliance, We Drive Progress also met White House officials to broaden the definition of employee further, according to records and sources. A growing number of companies, including in healthcare, are misclassifying hundreds of thousands of workers across the United States, they argued. Workers in industries that rely on contractors, like food delivery services, say they are left without social safety nets, accident coverage, or paid sick leave, and squeezed by high gas prices. This is a model in which if we don't draw a line in this country, every job is at risk. And so this rulemaking should be about ensuring people have basic protections, said Nicole Moore, a part-time Lyft driver and the president of the group Rideshares Drivers United. Moore said the rulemaking would help Democrats if they were to be released before the November midterm elections that would determine whether Republicans or Democrats control Congress. The last thing Americans want to hear is promises on what the party stands for and what it'll mean to have folks in the White House, Senate, and House of Representatives and then have nothing happen, she said. So, once again, we've got groups that are supposedly standing up for our best interest, and none of them are listening to a word we have to say. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit at all. I can already see where it's going. If they get us classified as actual employees of Doordash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, can we only work for one of them? Can we work for two of them? This is just going to be a cluster. Are we going to be required to wear a little polo shirt with 2 Ds on it or an orange shirt with a GH on it? You're going to have to keep all of them in your vehicle so you can switch it out for each job. This is bullshit, people. It's these trade association groups that think they're standing for us. But I'll tell you, I've been around the block, and I'll tell you, most of the people in every job that I've ever been in that belong to these little groups, the safety committee, the food committee, the recreation committee, the only reason these people are on those committees, and it's always the same people over and over again, is because they're worthless at their jobs. So they sign up for every freaking committee they can get on so they're not on the floor working next to you. Oh man, I tell you what, these people just piss me off. So my guess is sooner or later something's going to come down the pipe. Hopefully it's not a really, really radical shift and we can work with multiple gig app companies. You know, if it comes down to one, we're all toast. Here's the thing, as I've said before, I'm pretty much a full-timer. This is just going to kill me. The part-timers, the ones that are out there for just a few hours a week making pocket money, it ain't going to hurt them one bit at all, which is the dominant number of people in the gig economy. But us full-timers, those of us that really kind of rely on this, it's going to kill us. It's going to kill us. And we have nobody to thank but some of our fellow independent contractors that just screwed it all up, can't do it on their own, whine and cry, whine and cry. You know, I mean, how many times every week, every day, we see a Doordash video put up or in the comments of a Doordash video where people are just ripping the fact that there's $2.75 offers out there all the time. Don't take them, people. What are you worried about? I mean, some of this shit is just getting to be ridiculous. We allow it to happen. It plays out in the videos. It plays out in the comments. You know, I don't know if these people are just outsiders that are bitching about the fact that there's $2.75 order. I don't think so. I think a lot of them are in the economy and they just can't find it. They just can't wrap their mind around it that there's somebody out there that doesn't want to tip and it's a $2.75 order. Don't take it, you freak. You don't have to. And then they whine and they cry. I want this. I want that. I want time off. I want vacation pay. Oh my God, these whining little pukes. They've ruined it for us. And now we're going to pay the price. Unfortunately, the way this is standing, calling a representative ain't going to do a bit of good because everything's in place, you know, the committees and all that. Whether they do this or not is well beyond our ability to change it. You know, we've got some people standing up for us. We've got more of them against us. It is what it is. Just prepare for it. Buckle down. You know, there's nothing we can do. It's just, you know, keep your head up. And when it comes down, make the best out of whatever's being thrown our way. That's all we can do, because it does sound like it's pretty much a done deal, and this is one of those things that's completely out of our hands. And you know, when it happens, we'll all be talking about it and figuring out how to make it work for us. All right, guys and gals, that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully you can take something from this video and put it to use for yourself. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and hope to see you next time.